Welcome to the 24/7 Sports YouTube channel, your home for all things college football and college basketball related, including recruiting and live commitments. And we happen to have another live commitment for you about to happen, and that is from Detroit Cass Tech defensive end Jalen Thompson, a four-star prospect recruited by many schools and offered by 30 schools from across the country. Thompson has been an excellent player for Cass Tech over the past 2 seasons, recording 18 sacks for the Technicians, a school that has been no stranger at having top defensive line recruits going back to Vernon Golston, and then all the way to last year with Deion Walker making noise as a true freshman at Kentucky now. And Thompson can be that type of impact player. He's played 2 ways. You see him here on the offensive line. He's been a disruptive force, and that is why he was coveted by many top programs. But he narrowed that list down to 5 schools: Cincinnati, Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State, and Pitt. He has been to all 5 of those campuses. He took official visits in the summer, earned the offer from the Buckeyes in person at camp after working with Larry Johnson, and has connections at several of those programs. So we will find out shortly which of these 5 programs will add him to their roster. We now get set to take you out live to Cass Tech, where we are joined by Jalen Thompson. Jalen, welcome in. And first, you're joined by many people up on the stage. Why don't you take a moment and just introduce us to some of the people there?
Okay, right here is my head coach, Coach Russian. This is my mom right here, my dad. I got my uncles, my grandfather back there, my uncle, my cousin, my niece, and I got my aunties.
So clearly family and your coach is very important to you. How did they help you through a recruiting process that I'm sure was stressful at times?
They just pushed me, to be the best I could be, and just help me when I needed them.
I think at one point we had talked, you had wanted to get the decision done maybe late spring, early June, that time period. You took your time and you pushed it out until now. Was it tough, and how many times did you go back and forth through this process?
Yeah, it was tough, but really, I was just staying, make sure I stay focused and just figuring out, what schools offer me the best for what I'm looking for. And really, I just took my time and just felt like it was the right time when I did it.
Okay, so let's find out where that right school is. Please give us your announcement.
Hey, good afternoon. My name is Daryl Weaver. I am the voice of the Detroit Public School League Athletics. Also a proud alumnus of Cass Tech, class of 1972. And it is indeed my pleasure to introduce Jalen Thompson here today, as he will be making a momentous decision as to which one of these schools he will be matriculating to and spending the next 4 years. It is indeed a pleasure, again, once that we have Coach Marvin Rushing here, Jalen's family standing behind me, and seated out in the office, in the audience, the mighty, mighty Cass Technician football team. Let's give a big round of applause, fellas. So once again, it is my pleasure to introduce Jalen Thompson, an outstanding football player, not only here in the state of Michigan, but across the Midwest. And as you can see by the hats in front of me, he's been highly recruited by many of the top universities in the United States. So this is going to be a momentous occasion, not only for him and his family. And then I guess without further ado, unless you have anything to say, Coach Rushing? No. Well, Jalen, let's go. Okay, we're going to leave it up to Jalen.
Okay, so first, I will start by saying thank you for everyone that helped me and guided me to where I am today. It wasn't an easy path, but it was a fun one. I want to say thank you for all the coaches that offered me scholarships and opportunity to play at the next level. I want to thank Coach Rush and Coach Wilcher for allowing me to be able to play at the college level. I want to say RP, my great-grandfather, Coach Smitty, and Coach Sassy. I appreciate everything y'all taught me, and I'll never forget y'all. I want to say thank you for my parents for helping me where I need to be, to help me get to where I need to be, and for pushing me. I want to say to my younger self, thank you for having a love for the game of football. I want to say thank you to my teammates and all my brothers, who already graduated, Deion, Jackson, Raheem and Dorn. And without further ado, I want to say thank you to my family that's here with me right now with all their love and support. With that being said, I'll be announcing my commitment to the University of Michigan State.
Congratulations.
Jalen, congratulations. We can see the list of schools. We can see the hats on the table. Some outstanding choices there. Right to the point, what was it about Michigan State?
Coach Tucker at Michigan State is very happy. I'm happy to the fact that he's going to be wearing green and white for 4 more years. So just give him another big round of applause.
Jalen, you got me?
Yes, sir.
So we mentioned the top schools that were recruiting you. We can see the hats on the table. Some really outstanding choices there. What was it about Michigan State?
Really, it was one big thing that I feel like I was there on was relationship, and I feel like at that school, that's what they offered the best for me.
Got a unique situation there. They have several defensive line coaches. You got Brandon T. Jordan. You have Marco Coleman. You have Kevin Vickerson. The head coach, Mel Tucker, is a defensive guy. How much did that play a part in your decision?
And that was real good. I felt like Coach BT would help me. He had the experience, from coaching NFL players, so that would help me. And then I have 2 coaches, Coach Coleman and Coach Vickerson, who played in the league as well, for 10 plus years. So I feel like that experience will help me as well.
And obviously, your former head coach at Cass Tech, Coach Wilcher, he's up there. It's close to home. How much did those factors play into the choice?
Coach Wilcher, one thing he was big on, he said, make the best decision for you. And but me and him always had a great relationship. So of course, him being up there will help me help as well.
Did it ever cross your mind to think about leaving the state? Did some of those other schools give you a tough decision between Michigan State and leaving the state lines?
Yeah, because all these schools have offered me great opportunities.
So I know you're getting this decision done now, and then your season starts this week. This Friday night, you kick off. So now that this is done, how much of a weight is off your shoulders, and what are your expectations for your senior year?
I feel like this have helped lift some weight off my shoulders. It was kind of stressful, but I feel like, making my commitment for the season will help me be able to focus on the season. And really, this season, we have a championship team, and I feel like we're going to make the walk to Ford Field.
Jalen, congratulations on the decision. Thank you for sharing it with us, and best of luck this season at Cass Tech.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And there you have it, Jalen Thompson from Detroit Cass Tech, not even going to have to change his high school colors as he goes from the green and white of Cass Tech to the green and white of Michigan State. And we now go to the green and white and the green screen of Justin Thin from Spartan Tailgate. Justin, at one point, we all had crystal ball predictions in for Jalen Thompson, but we all got a little bit nervous there. I think the Ohio State offer and some other schools pursuing him. Cincinnati did a good job recruiting him, but Michigan State closes it out after Spartan DogCon. What do you think made the difference here for Michigan State down the stretch? Was it that Spartan DogCon?
Yeah, I think when players get to come to Spartan DogCon and they get to take in sort of the culture of the program and seeing how the former players have ownership of the program, it definitely makes an impact on them. And if you couple that with, as you were saying earlier, Brandon T. Jordan, Kevin Vickerson, Marco Coleman all being on the staff here, Michigan State having somewhat of a lead to begin with earlier in the recruiting cycle, I think it all just kind of encapsulates the overall combination of factors between the Spartan DogCon, the lead, coaching staff, and he ended up finding his way back to Michigan State where he was originally trending when we put in the picks, and that's kind of how we got here.
I think when that staff was getting put together, especially when Brandon T. Jordan and Marco Coleman got added, the hope for Spartan fans was they were going to sign a great defensive line class because of that. But you never know until it actually happens. But it is coming to fruition here. So take us through where this defensive line class is at, and has it met or exceeded your expectations?
Yeah, great point. So right now, 3 of Michigan State's 4 highest ranked commits are defensive ends. You have Bai Job from down in Oklahoma. You have Andrew DePape from Iowa. And then you have Stanton Ramel, who's an offensive lineman mixed in there. And then right after that should be Jalen Thompson. So they're the 4 highest ranked kids are defensive ends. BT Jordan, obviously known for developing pass rushers in the NFL, over 200 clients. And it seems to have resonated with some of these recruits across the nation. And Jalen Thompson is the latest example of that. But yeah, I think the expectations were that they were going to try to get some better talent here in the trenches. Michigan State has been lacking that in the years past towards the end of the D'Antonio tenure. And they're getting back to kind of shoring up the trenches. And Jalen Thompson is the latest addition in that line of commitments in the 2023 class down low.
So they now sit at 14 commitments. Unless my math is wrong, I think they're now 3rd in the Big Ten in the 24/7 Sports Composite team recruiting ranking. So what's left for this class? How many more players can they take? And are there some big fish still out there as we enter the fall?
Yeah, you're 14 commits, and I believe 11 of them are 4-stars. And great start to the class right now. And obviously the key is now to hold on to the commitments they have landed. And it seems like Michigan State's going to go ahead and continue pursuing some of the kids that are committed elsewhere. A lot of big fish, Elliott Washington, and obviously Caleb Presley, Dalen Austin, a lot of those guys. But in terms of uncommitted guys, the attention now turns to the 2 5-stars that Michigan State has hosted multiple times. And that's David Hicks from down in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in Texas and Samson Okalola from up in Massachusetts. Both of those are going to be very hard pulls for Michigan State, but with BT Jordan working with David Hicks ever since he's been in 8th grade, that's a unique relationship that we'll see if it plays a factor or not. But beyond that, look for Michigan State to maybe expand the board at defensive back and other areas as they head into the fall and get a chance to evaluate some more prospects across the nation.
Now, since I've been covering recruiting, I don't know if I can remember a 5-star from Texas coming up and taking an official visit to Michigan State before. Mel Tucker has really changed the landscape of Michigan State recruiting. It's a very different recruiting approach. What's the upside here for this staff and how far they can take this team and how high they can push them in the recruiting rankings?
Yeah, it's I don't know if even you and I that have seen this up close would have expected 11 4-star commits sitting here in mid-August, but they've gotten it done here so far. And now I think one of the things that you're going to look for is if Michigan State can win 8, 9, 10 games this upcoming season, and suddenly some of the noise of maybe one-hit wonder negative recruiting and things of that nature could start to get washed out as well. So some of the kids that might have been hesitant to jump into the class in the summer as they want to wait and see what Tucker does in year 3, those kids might become more susceptible to joining the class here as we get later into the recruiting cycle. I think there's a lot of potential to finish strong here. And it's just long term. It's Mel Tucker has already kind of exceeded expectations. And as we've said, that's just been 1 year. And the potential is high for them to do some nice things on the recruiting trail here in East Lansing.
Certainly exciting times over at Michigan State. Justin, thanks for joining us and breaking some of it down.
For sure. Thanks, Alan.
There you have it. That's Justin Thin from Spartan Tailgate. Make sure you get over there and check out all the great work he does. And the crew over there, Corey Robinson, Stephen Brooks, and Sean Shearer do as well. They have had much to cover with Michigan State recruiting as Mel Tucker and his staff have done an outstanding job now pushing this class up to number 3 in the Big Ten. And with the season starting, they are going to be also turning their attention to the 2024 class. So get over there for all the latest in recruiting news and Michigan State football and basketball team news. And thank you once again for joining us on the 24/7 Sports YouTube channel, your home for live commitments as well as all things college football and college basketball. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we will catch you again soon. Thank you to Jalen Thompson and the staff at Cast Tech. Have a good evening.